Hello and welcome to the Weekly Outlook at XM.com. I'm Maria Pachardez, and joining me is Senior Investment Analyst Rafi Boyajian. We'll be taking a look at the week ahead. So Rafi, let's begin with the EU. Next week on Friday, there will be a European Council meeting where EU leaders will decide whether to approve the European Commission's proposal for a virus rescue fund. What can we expect there, and how will that outcome affect the euro?
Maria, this has been in the headlines for some time now. We had that proposal by the European Commission of 750 billion euro virus rescue fund to help the virus-stricken Eurozone economies recover from the pandemic. But the details have yet to be worked out, and there's a lot of resistance from the Frugal Four, which includes countries such as Austria and the Netherlands. They are opposed to debt sharing, so if the deal goes ahead, it would basically amount to the European Commission raising some of that sum by issuance of debt, and several Eurozone countries are against this. So if we see that perhaps the 750 billion sum gets downsized to something smaller, then that would definitely be a negative for the euro, and as we would see some of that euphoria fade about the recovery prospects for the Eurozone economy. So a lot depends on that EU summit at the end of next week.
Okay, moving now to the UK. The Bank of England is expected to announce an extra boost to its quantitative easing program on Thursday. We'll also get employment data on Tuesday, inflation figures on Wednesday, and retail sales on Friday. Will any of this data attract attention, and how is the pound likely to react?
Well, data will certainly be attracting some attention, mainly the jobs numbers on Tuesday and the retail sales at the end of the week. In the jobs data, we're going to get the April employment figures as well as the claimant count for May. So we're going to get to see both in terms of what the scale of job losses that there was in April when the whole country was in lockdown, and then whether or not there was some improvement in May when some of those lockdown restrictions were eased, and also whether or not there was any bounce in retail sales in May. So that should give us some indication as to the growth prospects for the UK for the current and next quarter. As far as the Bank of England is concerned, they're expected to increase their QE by 100 billion pounds. So that's mostly been priced in already to the pound, and even if there is a bit of any surprises there, it's unlikely to have a huge impact on the pound. Instead, the main thing to worry about as far as the pound is concerned is the Brexit headlines at the start of the week. So on Monday, Prime Minister Johnson will be having a video conference with the President of the European Commission, where they will try to inject some momentum into the Brexit talks, which have stalled. And if there's no progress there, then that would definitely hurt the pound, because Johnson has already ruled out extending the transition period. So a lack of progress in June would definitely increase the risks of a no-deal Brexit in December or in January next year.
Okay, and what about the Bank of Japan and the Swiss National Bank? Are they likely to announce any changes at their respective meetings?
So we're not expecting any significant changes in policy by either the Bank of Japan or the Swiss National Bank. So the Bank of Japan will probably keep their QE and interest rates unchanged, but they may announce they may expand their lending schemes for local businesses to help them survive through this pandemic. As far as the Swiss National Bank is concerned, there's little they can do because interest rates are already at a record low of minus 0.75%. But the bank will probably warn against significant appreciation of the Swiss franc, although the franc has come down quite a bit lately because of that improvement in risk appetite in the financial markets. Of course, the pandemic is still ongoing, and we could still see a flare-up in risk aversion. So he will try to maintain his strong warning against the appreciation of the franc.
And finally, over in the US, we'll get retail sales and industrial output data on Tuesday. If retail sales bounce back, will we see any reaction in stock markets?
Well, that's an interesting question. So we are seeing a bit of a pullback in that strong rally we saw in equities markets. So we've got some growth jitters at the moment. Markets finally seem to be coming around to the idea that the recovery may not be quite as fast as they had initially anticipated. And also we are seeing some signs that perhaps the US is now seeing a second wave of infections. In several states across the US have seen an increase in the number of new daily virus cases. So that has scared markets. And so although we did see the strong NFP report help boost risk appetite, we might not see the same happening from retail sales numbers, even if we do get a strong rebound in May. So retail sales and industrial production are both expected to have rebounded in May, but whether or not markets pay attention to that, if they remain concerned about the overall trend in the economy, it might not have huge impact on the markets. And so the dollar may actually begin to rise again if the data doesn't help risk appetite in the coming days.
Rafi, thanks so much. And thanks for joining us at XM.com.